Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow interviews, right here on WXOU Sports. My name is Giovanni Moceri, Sports Media Director here at the station, and welcome to the WXOU Sports YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe, and also subscribe to the GioMoShow YouTube page. But sitting with me here today, our main focus, our subject for today, is a member of our lovely Oakland baseball team, the one and only John Lauinger. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing great today. Happy to be here and excited to do a little interview and just talk about how the season's going. And yeah,
absolutely. Hey, that makes two of us then.
Yeah.
So to start things off, I mean, we're talking in like the last week of the season here. For those that are watching at a later date, you guys are now third in the Horizon League, and you guys got within one game of second place North of Kentucky with a season sweep against Milwaukee. So just to start things off, how are you feeling after that?
I mean, it definitely feels great to get that season sweep. Milwaukee's a solid team, and like I was saying, they have arguably the best arms in the league. Like, their pitchers are very solid, so the games were a little bit more low scoring than always, but you know, our pitching stepped up with Hunter, and Tanner in a spot start did great, and obviously Brandon Decker just doing his thing every time. I mean, it's incredible to watch, and I was very happy with the way the guys played, and just being able to get that was huge for us, because obviously getting that second place seed is the goal right now so that we can have a bye and not have to play in that first game come tournament time.
Yeah, so. Definitely makes things a lot easier. And I saw the clip, and you guys can see it too on Golden Grizzly social media. But for the last hit to be right in Decker's glove, that is so sweet, isn't
perfect.
it?
It's perfect. I feel like that video just like totally captures just him. Like, that's like his energy and his presence. Like, there's no one else that is like that when they're on the mound. Like, you can just tell how, like, he just thinks he's gonna get everyone out, and he like just knows he's going to dominate, and it's awesome to watch. So I think that moment really captured just who Decker is.
For sure. And what we're trying to do today is capture who you are, Mr. Johnny Rockets, as I scream to you at the games. But to start things off, I like to kind of get to know everybody as in a foundational sense of how you guys started in sports. So for you, kind of how did baseball become your sport, and kind of like what was your foundation growing up in sports? Like, how did it become baseball?
Well, so I kind of tried all of the sports when I was younger. Neither of my parents really played any sports at all, but they had kind of wanted me to get into activities. And my grandpa was actually a baseball player, and so he played at Creighton when he was younger, and he was kind of just a big athlete. So I worked at it with him a lot, and I don't know, I started playing when I was 4 years old, and at the beginning I didn't really like it, ironically enough, at the very beginning, and then
you knew all the way when you're 4 years old.
No, when I was 4 and 5, because I was the worst player on the team when I first started, and my dad told me just to stick it out, and then when I hit a home run, if I still don't like it by then I can quit. And sure enough, a year goes by, and it's all of a sudden that's everything I do.
Oh yeah,
just baseball, everything. I was playing baseball video games. I would be wearing a Derek Jeter jersey every day, like. It just became my thing and kind of stuck with me. So
yeah, so you got to experience the highs with the lows, you know, get your sample in that sense.
Exactly.
So then, when kind of just talk to me about like the path you took, like after you decided like, hey, I like baseball now. Kind of the path you took, was it like playing for club travel teams, and then high school? Kind of talk to me about the route up until, like, let's say your senior year of high school.
Yeah, so I played Little League obviously when I was a kid, and then when I was 9, I played for my first club baseball team, and that was a organization right by my house, and got to meet a lot of new guys, and I played with a few kids from my school, and that was great. So I played on 2 more organizations throughout my time, because that was from 9 to 12U was that first team. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up joining a team called GBG, which is they were based out of California initially, but they branched off to Arizona, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And so that was actually the team that Coach Banfield he saw me through that team, because he was working in Arizona at the time, and that was kind of the team I was playing for then. And that was probably my favorite club team that I played for. Like, that was the best club team I ever played for, and we were good, and I feel like we were able to get some college attention, and it was the first kind of taste into like recruiting. And once like that playing college baseball dream became a reality, I was like, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So was there a certain moment where you realized that college was a possibility? Because for me, like, I swam in high school, And I wasn't fast enough for college, especially not for Oakland here. But I know some of my teammates, like they were at that kind of high level. But like for you, what was the moment that that college became a possibility for you?
Well, I would say my sophomore year of high school was when things really kind of kicked off for me. I was always I was really skinny, and I never
Relatable.
I was tall enough, but I didn't have any kind of like power or any whatever. And my sophomore year, I was playing on my varsity high school team, and I think like at that point when I was playing against guys that were going to Division I schools and committed to these schools, and I felt like I was competing with them at a high level.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of when it hit me that I could actually really do this. So then I really started to try to get my name out there more and get in touch with schools and everything like that. So
So basically playing against college talent, you being able essentially like, hey, I'm on the level of these college
Exactly.
kids. It's my turn.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
So then, what did you do? You mentioned you're trying to get attention from some colleges. Like what? Again, I don't know the recruiting process, but like, what do you do as an athlete to kind of go around and kind of scout the country in that sense?
Well, it's tough. I would say it takes a lot of time commitment. Like for me, it was I would send a ton of emails to coaches of like schools that I would want to go.
Yeah.
And initially I had wanted to go play at like one of those mid-major schools in California. That was kind of like where I was looking initially, just because I close enough to home. And so I actually went to a few camps to go try to get myself in front of the coaches. And it was cool because I got to go with my dad and my grandpa. Like we were like tour the school, and then I'd go play baseball there. So it was a fun time. It was a good experience.
Sure,
and,
you get a game out of it.
Nothing really came out of all that. Thankfully, like the opportunity with Coach Banfield was he had just seen me play, so it wasn't somewhere where I had to go like reach out and find him. So I feel like it worked out as it was supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. And for Banfield finding it, like it's just kind of a coincidence that he happened to see you at a game. Like, did he talk to you afterwards when he saw you? I'm kind of curious, like that kind of first interaction with Banfield.
Yeah, so he was actually a scouting director at it's like a recruiting company called PBR Arizona.
Sure.
So he was like in charge of the Arizona branch for that. So I did like a showcase at one of those, and we had kind of got in touch then, and then we kept in touch while he was at Akron, and then. By the time he got the job at Oakland, I was, I think, a senior in high school, and I was ready to kind of make a final decision on where I was going. So we got back in touch, and rest was history from there.
So. And you mentioned like you were kind of looking around the California area, and somehow you end up all the way in Michigan.
Yeah.
What was Banfield that convincing to kind of make you move across the country, or kind of what else went into making your decision to come to Oakland?
Well, in all honesty, I think when I was initially thinking about going to California and going closer to home, I didn't really have that like adventurous side in me yet.
Sure.
Like I think I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I want to go try something new and like go do something different. And like this has been just such a different and fun experience for me. So now I'm glad that I ended up coming out here, because now I feel like I can, like, whatever life throws at me, like if I want to go travel the country or go to Europe after college, like I just feel like I can go do that now. Whereas like when I was younger, I was very much like wanted to stay home, stay where I was at.
Yeah, very closely nested.
Exactly.
Kind of
yeah. So I don't know. I really like Michigan. Like I don't know why. I hear people talk bad about Michigan sometimes.
I do too, and I don't appreciate it.
I know. I really don't. Like obviously the winters or whatever, but the rest of the year here, man, doesn't get much better. So
yeah. So and I've talked to Heidel a little bit. Him being from Anaheim, California. The winters are kind of tough. He said it kind of gave him some thick skin, kind of toughened him up. What about you? What was your first winter like?
Well, I committed to go to Oakland right before Christmas. Okay. So my Christmas presents that year were all just like winter clothes, coats, like everything you could find. My mom was on it. There's this one, I think it was Eddie Bauer is the company, and it's like they make like snow apparel and all that. So I got just about every winter item you could think of. So I was well prepared for the winter, but sure enough, the first winter here, you can't really prepare for it.
Yeah.
Like the first time I was walking outside and like I could feel my face just like hurting.
Yeah.
Like it was like, it felt like it was freezing.
You
and
feel
I'm like,
every nerve.
Literally. Yeah. So that was a little bit tough, but I think I've gotten used to it now. It's like, you kind of just got to tough it out during January.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's, manageable. I'm still getting used to driving in the snow though.
Yeah, that takes practice.
Yeah, I'm living with Brandon and I this year, and
Oh, okay.
I sometimes when it's like, really snowy out and the roads are all icy, I'm like, I'm gonna drive with you today. Like I'm not gonna mess with that. So
Well, good, because some people just say screw it and they go and crash into somebody anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
You got a good head on your
No,
shoulders.
I'm
for that.
aware. I'm very aware. I'm aware of my lack of talent when it comes to driving in the snow.
Oh, that's good. Self-awareness is a great thing. So then now that you've been here at Oakland and you got some years under your belt, now almost finishing up your junior year, and in that conversation I had with Heidel, he talked to me about the culture of the team and how his freshman year it was a lot of like whatever and so what. But then that next year, which his sophomore year, that would have been your freshman year, that's when it started to be expecting to win when you go on the field. So kind of talk to me about that culture, and I guess kind of you coming in as like the first class of that. What's that culture like, that kind of getting to Horizon League Championship kind of stuff? Talk to me about that.
I think our seniors and our older guys, my freshman year, did a really good job of kind of building that just like brotherhood of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like everyone that year and the years to come, like everyone was like this. Like when you step on the field, it's almost like you're playing for the guys next to you. Like you're going to war for your guys. You know what I mean? So you're gonna give it everything you have, and you're gonna, like get hit by a pitch, you're gonna wear it, you're gonna just stand in there and take it because you know that like these guys work as hard as they can for it, and so do you. So I think the confidence kind of comes from just knowing that we have done everything we can to prepare. And I think that that's been something that we've been able to maintain for the last 3 years. And I feel like the culture this year is just as good as it's ever been. Like this is the closest I've ever been with the baseball team. Like it's all fun, like we have a really good time together. So yeah. I think that's really what it comes down to, is you have to like, you work really hard, but then when the moment comes, you have to like realize that you're just out there, like you're just having fun with your friends and just playing a game. And I don't know, at the end, it all kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because in that point, like when you're in the batter's box, you don't have time to think. These pitches are coming so fast. Like it just has to rely on muscle memory and kind of whatever is in your heart. And I want to kind of explore that a little bit more, a mentality of not just batting, but everywhere throughout the game. It's such a mental sport, given there's we'll call it minimal action. What kind of like mental gymnastics do you guys have to do to stay focused, stay in the zone, but then also like have a short memory in that sense? Kind of walk me through that.
I think, like you said, I mean, it can be a really tough game mentally. Like it can wear down on you, and I think over my 3 years, that's one thing I've really had to work on. It's hard to not get down on yourself when things aren't going how you want.
Yeah.
Like this year, especially for me, I started off really slow. Like I had really high expectations for myself this year, and I got off to a very slow start. And, I wasn't playing as much at that time because I just wasn't getting the job done.
Sure. And
I think it kind of came down to me like just trusting my preparation. And when you get into the box, it's like, do your thinking before. That's right. What Coach Banfield always says that before. It's like, do your thinking before the pitch, so then when the moment comes, you're prepared. So I think like when I step into the box, I mean, we'll have an approach of kind of what we're looking for on a certain pitcher, but besides that, my mind's not anywhere else. Like I'm looking for what I'm looking for, and if it's there, I'm gonna take the hardest swing I can, and if it's not, I'm gonna take it. So you just have to really simplify it, and there's so much complexity to baseball. I think you have to just try to simplify it as much as you can.
Yeah,
so.
You can't be thinking in that sense, like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
So then, and with that, I've noticed this watching games. Why is Coach doing like the Macarena before everyone is that bad? He's like tapping his shoulder up in the head. He's doing like a Three Stooges thing. I don't know baseball that well. Like, what's he trying to communicate with that?
So that's our sign system. So I can't go into too much detail about it.
No competitive advantage here. But
yeah.
Like it's okay.
Yeah. So it's signs. So we have a variety of different things that could be on, and you're basically looking for that. So if he doesn't actually put anything on, it's just for show. Okay. So basically, it's if you want to put something on, the other team won't know anything's different because it's still just he's doing kind of the same
he's
stuff.
Always doing that.
So yeah,
I just think it's hilarious. To ask.
No, it's interesting for sure. I've always found that fun to kind of watch the other coaches on like major league teams and all that do it, because every system is different, so everyone's looking a little bit different. But yeah, no, it's It's funny.
That's what. And another fun part of like coming to the games and watching them, which I encourage you all do as well. Especially, we got home. You're not hosting Purdue Fort Wayne, right?
No, it's on the road.
On the road.
Yep.
I know the team. Don't worry about it. But walk-up music, your walk-up song. I need to know like how much time goes into deciding that music that you're going to be walking up to at every home game, because I feel like it could either be like a huge deal with a lot of heart to it, or it's just something funny. What about you? How did that come up for you?
I would say for me this year, it's kind of more. Okay, actually, I have a story behind it.
Of course.
So my walk-up song is "Crank That" by Soulja Boy.
Classic.
Which it's a song like whenever I'm out and I'm hanging out with my friends, I always ask for that song to be put on because I know the dance to it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's pretty well known amongst my teammates and maybe some other student athletes here. But so that's kind of my song. And I was using a song. I don't remember what it was called,
sure.
But I had a song before, and then my mom and sister were out to watch our first Purdue Fort Wayne series at home, and I was like, I wanted to change my walk-up song because I wanted something a little more upbeat.
Sure.
And then so I just was putting on songs, and I put on that, and they just were like, yeah, like that's the one. And they were like dancing to it, and they were like, you got to do that one. So then I did that one, and when the first time it came on, I found them in the stands, and they were dancing to it.
They were cranking that?
Yeah, so I guess every time I hear that now, it's kind of just like reminds me of just like my family, and I don't know, it's fun.
So it kind of puts you in a good place as you're going up to bed.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because I hear some, they choose their song to kind of get them more in like a attacking and a more of an aggressive mood. Others, they need to calm down with some music like that. So you got more kind of like the upbeat kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not the guy that needs to go like amp myself up more. I have enough of that as it is all the time, so I'm more of the kind of just relax and have fun with it. So sure. I think that walk-up song achieves that perfectly for me. So I'll probably stick with it for a while.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
And now because I'm kind of tackling like different aspects of like what I see from the broadcast and also just like an audience, like when it comes to heckling in the sport of baseball, the loud dugouts, dude. Some teams, honestly, from what I see, I don't know if it's from the day or the weather or something, but sometimes there's not a whole lot of chatter. But for what I saw in Milwaukee, they were chattering, they were talking the whole time. I guess more of like a question to the sports culture, but like, what goes into that? How much do you do it? What's too far? Walk me through what you guys are heckling in there.
So I guess we always, the kind of the guideline that we try not to cross is where it's like, you try to just keep it within your own team.
Okay.
Or like just basically you just don't want to be making direct comments at a player.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So if like Gage Smith is he's our guy in the dugout whenever if they miss a ground ball, he says like Reese's Puffs. It's like eat them up. And so he has all these different ones that he uses. And it's like when it's kind of like lighthearted, go all and do it. And I'm all for it, like the lighthearted stuff. But I will say like I definitely prefer to play like a clean game. Like I don't want to I don't need to have a chip on my shoulder and be
you don't need to be pissed off.
Yeah, that's just not how I am. And I think some guys get more into that. Like they like the heckling, they like the chippiness because it kind of gives them that like fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it, but it's not really my forte. But I do think like it adds another level to the sport. Like you go to a major league game and there's all the hecklers and it's part of the culture, I think, and it is cool because it's like some people have a harder time overcoming that, hearing people talk bad about them, and some people it makes them play better. So I think kind of adds another unique element to the game. So
and kind of how does it affect you if you're being heckled and you're up to bat or something? Kind of like, do you just are you able to tune it out, or kind of how does it affect your game in that sense?
I actually I've been able to tune it out pretty well this year.
Okay.
Normally, the first time I'm hitting against any new team we play, I always hear something about my batting stance. I always hear something about like what is he doing? Yeah, and like I move around a lot because a lot of guys on our team when I'm up, they'll tell me to tweak just because I'm like I move around a lot. I'm like twitchy. And so every time I first come up, a lot of guys are on the other team. Where it's like, what are you doing up there or whatever. But I think I've gotten pretty good at tuning out and just like controlling what I can control, playing my own game, and it's my own thing, and I do it as well as I can. So
it's got me this far, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so who are you to tell me that it looks funny? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap up here, I really appreciate you taking the time here. This has been a lot of fun here with John Lauinger. Now going into this final week of the regular season, you guys are one game behind Northern Kentucky, and that you want that bye, in the tournament. Coming into this final week, kind of, is that as big of a focus from like the coaching staff and the leadership, or is it just kind of goes without saying, kind of in a sense? Like, what's the mentality coming into this week?
I think we just need to really go and take care of business. I think we have the team to go and make a run this year, and I think we all know that. And I think if we, like, it's not even necessarily a focus on going and winning all 3 games. It's just if we can get to the spot where we're playing consistent good baseball, I think I like our chances going into the tournament. So, I mean, I feel pretty confident that if we go play like the best that we're capable of, we'll sweep. We'll sweep pretty easily this weekend. Because I think, I mean, this team is special, and I think we got a lot of great young guys, and everyone's kind of like, I feel like it's been fun to watch people develop over the season. Like I think we're way more talented now than we were at the beginning because everyone has developed. Like the young freshmen that are, I think we have 5 freshmen that start. Like,
yeah,
they're developing rapidly and getting better every day, and I think we'll be able to just show up and play the best we can and let the rest take care of itself. So,
and here's to taking care of business, John.
Exactly.
Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for coming on to the GioMo Show. For all of you watching, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to us on WXOU Sports on YouTube. Follow WXOU on social media, and you can go find the GioMo Show for your weekly update on all Oakland sports. We will continue throughout the summer with season reviews and coverage of the USPBL. So, from Giovanni Moceri, from John Lauinger, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, I really appreciate
that was fun.
it,
Yeah, that was a really
awesome.
fun time.